Hi everyone, it's Calvin, and welcome to the community video. This is a video where you get to express yourself as a patron of my channel and you get to talk about anything you want, pretty much video game related or pop culture related or something that you're playing, something that you're watching. And this week we have a few interesting ones that we can talk about. I actually think it's going to be very fun, I think. The first submission is from Poki Girl. I personally feel like Kokichi really did care for Gonta. He didn't want him to die, but he needed to stay alive to pull off his stunt and win the killing game. Heck, he even waited to do his whole evil I don't care about you're dying act until after Gonta was dead. He had to have his evil persona afterwards so the cast will believe he's the mastermind in chapter 5. In the end, he did want everyone to live, secretly destroying the game from the inside. His plan eventually came together and the unsolvable murder forced Monokuma to lie, showing the game's fundamental flaws. I agree with this. I actually think at first I was kind of like, he's just a cold-hearted boy, and I still love him even though he's a cold-hearted boy, but I do think you're right. I do think that he did have this big character moment where he changed himself completely, not changed himself, but showed his cards in a way that he didn't mean to. By hiding his cards, he showed his cards. And you really see that with his, to be able to convince Kaito that you're telling the truth about everything in chapter 5, it was a big deal. A really big deal. And that unsolvable murder is also just an amazing thing that Kokichi did as well. Yeah, I personally 100% agree. I think that statement is something that is hard to disagree with. And, I'll support Kokichi no matter what. I'll support him no matter what. NeoChill says, sorry if this is a long one. Do not worry about this or whatever. Also, the spoiler for Nagito's free time events if you want to skip. I also may have missed some things because I have trouble focusing on writing stuff. It's okay, do not worry. We're going to read about Nagito. I do not like when people try and use Nagito's mental illness and try to excuse all of his actions through the game. Because yes, he is mentally ill, true, and sees things in a very twisted way, but in no way can that excuse his many attempted homicides and the downright borderline act of terrorism when he blows up the hotel. A lot of the time, I see people try to use his entire life backstory to try and say he wasn't wrong. And I'm not sure if you did this in his free time events, so I'll sum up his backstory explanations. He was born with his ultimate luck where he will have something extremely lucky happen, which is always followed by up by something extremely unlucky and vice versa. Keeping an endless cycle of torment for him. He was born with his ultimate luck where he will have something extremely lucky happen, which is always followed by something extremely unlucky and vice versa. Keeping an endless cycle of torment for him. He mentions that because of this, he has directly caused the death of all of his family members and loved ones, as well as countless civilians around him, causing him to almost never be able to have a social connection with anyone in his life. He was also diagnosed with lymphoma and frontotemporal dementia. However, his luck has kept him alive way past his expected lifespan, which in both aspects causes mental damage to him. Among other things alongside this, like getting kidnapped by a serial killer at one point, this has caused him to never truly be able to find happiness because his insane obsession with hope to try and find reason to live. With all of this happening to him before he even hit the age of 18, you can understand where all of his twisted, downright insane morals and thought processes come from 100%. While it's extremely depressing, you can sympathize with him greatly, it's still not an excuse for all his actions in this game, as he directly made those actions by himself. If, for example, the hotel blew up because of his luck, but he himself had no connection with it at all, that would be a different story. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So if it was just his luck. But he set up the bomb himself and detonated himself, which is just undeniably not negotiable to be excused, no matter what his unfortunate mental state is. While I love Nagito and he's personally one of my favorite characters of all time, there is generally no possible way you can ever excuse his actions in Danganronpa 2, and even Ultra Despair Girls for that matter. Although he was under the influence of Junko and the Remnant of Despair at the time, however, but in Danganronpa 2 he is a normal self thanks to Avatar. He was his normal self thanks to the Avatar and the Neo World program made of him based on his past life. If I'm getting what you're saying that yes, he did have a horrible life, which I think we all knew he had a horrible life, and he had this weird mental problems. We know he did. But you can't excuse his actions. I don't know if I did that in the game, but I don't think I did. But I think one of the things that I could say about that is that it's the reason for his actions, I think. But I don't think it's an excuse. It's the reasoning. We know why he acted this way. We know why he did this. We know why he acted the way he did, if that makes sense. but it's not an excuse for that. I don't think I would. I'm sure people some have. I would never excuse someone for blowing up a hotel. Like, that's not in my nature. Or especially when people were in it. There was people in the hotel as well. So I totally understand that, like, I guess, you know, doing something like that is not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. It's just not. And I totally get that. I get that. I'll be honest with you. I get that. But at the same time, I think that's the reason for what he did. Maybe not the actual excuse for what he did. I'm not a big fan of Nagito either. Like, he scares me. Like, he genuinely scares me. I know you are a big fan of him and he's one of your favorite characters. He genuinely makes me feel fear. Whenever I think about him, I want to cry. Like, that's just the God honest truth. He makes me want to cry every time I see him. And I talked about this in the tier list, and when I do see his face, it worries me. It makes me feel weird. So that's why, like, I don't have this, like, same affinity towards him that everyone else does. But I totally get why people love him, because he is a fantastic character. Yeah, but, like, look, I get your reasoning, and I totally kind of agree. I think, yeah, that the reason why, I think it shows why he did it in his head, but I don't think it is excused. I wouldn't excuse him trying to kill people or trying to kill our characters at all. Like, I wouldn't excuse that. From Umiko, I was thinking about Kokichi being a baby and remembered this doodle I did a while back I thought you might like. So we have a doodle from Umiko, which I'm actually going to copy the link in here now, and I'll show it up on the screen as well, and hopefully you guys will like it. There's like a few things that like I love when people show off certain drawings and stuff like that. So it's a drawing here. Hey sensei, want to see something cool I could do with this pin? What? No, sit down and put your name tag back on. Oh, that's actually adorable. Like, my two favorite characters. Really fantastic. I'll show that in the video so everyone else can see it. It's really freaking awesome. That's a really cool artwork. You're really good at like, especially like it shows exactly how I see them. This is exactly how I see these characters. This is exactly how I see both of these characters. It might need a little more context than Elementary School AU caption, but it's based on a fanfic of mine, which I haven't updated in a long time. But here's a little excerpt, I guess. You're the new 4th grade teacher, right? When Hinata nodded his assent, Kizuru grunted and stepped back out of the hallway. Come on, I've got your kids. Fumbling to set down his cup of coffee next to the sink, Hinata hurriedly followed the 3rd grade teacher, heading towards the stairwell. You've got my kids. The way you say that makes it almost sound like you're some kind of mob boss demanding ransom, he joked, trying to lighten the mood after his earlier slip-up. Kizuru snorted an aborted laugh. Shit. Any mob boss with half a brain would be paying you to take them back. Hinata's face fell, trepidation pooling in the pit of his stomach. Great line. Is my class that bad? The shorter man paused, his feet stilling at the top of the landing as he considered his answer. Just count your lucky stars you're not the one stuck with Kokichi Oma. He finally settled on. I would love to be stuck with our baby Kokichi Oma. That's really good. You're a really talented artist, and honestly, there's some really well-written lines in that fanfiction there. I think some people like doubt fanfiction quite a bit. I think it can be a joke sometimes just because some people go so freaking crazy with their fanfiction, but I don't think people understand that there's some really well-written literature in fanfiction. I think some of those people are going to end up writing books because they have so much practice in writing about characters they love. When I do art, the one thing I always say to people, I'm not fantastic at everyone. When people ask me like, how do I get better art? I always say the same thing. Draw characters you love and do stuff about things you love in games. And that's usually how you'll get to a higher state of art or higher tier of art, I suppose you could say. Yeah, that's really fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us, Umiko. Umiko, by the way, is a mod and they're watching you. Felicious Felix, I don't really have much to say. Just hope everyone is doing well and this year is starting off well. I've played more Raincoat finally since release. It took me months, but I'm on the last chapter and I'm very much enjoying it. Exciting for when you can get to it, Romer. I can't wait to play Raincoat as well. I think we'll get to it this year for sure. Maybe in the next few months. I've been playing Genshin Impact as usual for me, and collecting more figurines that I don't particularly need. Sure, I don't think anyone needs these figurines, man. They're just awesome to see. I really do enjoy collecting figurines of my favorite characters, which just seems to grow in amount. I love that. Like, having any passion, like, everyone has their own passions that, like, other people might see are silly, but for me, like, that's, you have something to show for your passion, you know? These characters you love. Last year, I did a 100+ hour playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, and I really enjoyed that, especially Astarion. I played Eternites as well. I want to play this game really badly as well. It felt like a shorter Persona game to me, and I thoroughly liked it as well. Related, I did finish my Persona 3 Portable playthrough prior to that, though I was bugged out of finishing it completely because of the last boss battle. Oh well. I ended up watching on YouTube, including my playthrough. Will play Persona 4 this year and replay Persona 5. Anyway, I'm proud to be a baby gangster. Yes! I'm ready to watch more stuff and just vibe with from you and just vibe with the community. Thank you, Felicious Felix. Always very kind. First of all, Baldur's Gate 3 is a fantastic game. I played as well. I didn't play 100 hours. My playthrough was like 60 hours, but I still felt like I got like what I wanted out of it. There's so much stuff I missed in that game though, which is really awesome. Persona 3 Portable, really freaking great. I heard there can be bugs. Persona 3 Reload's coming out on Friday, by the way. You say you're gonna play Persona 4. That's the game that like got me into Persona. An incredible game. Eternights is a game I want to play really badly, and so is Raincoat. Raincoat's for sure happening. Eternights is a game I looked at from afar, and I knew I was gonna like it when a bunch of people were like, "This game like is really it gets into like romance way too quickly and stuff." And I'm like, "Man, that's me. I love a bit of romance. I love romance in a story like this." Thank you for saying you're a proud baby gangster, by the way. That means the absolute world. Baby gangsters rise up. I love that this became a thing that people are actually into because. I can imagine being called a baby gangster for a long time would like make you feel a bit weird, but I think people are actually like into it. I think people are actually like, yeah, I'm a baby gangster, you're a baby gangster, we're all baby gangsters, which is really freaking awesome. Thank you, that was lovely. So the last of this the community video stuff today is from Jamie Bull. I definitely do not have the confidence to record myself speaking. I kind of got rid of the recording myself speaking thing because I think it kind of scared a few people off from submitting stuff for the community video. A lot of people don't want to talk, but I thought it might be a fun thing to do that, but I'm totally okay with just reading out your comments. But I'll make a short comment on a game I've been playing recently. I'll keep it vague since I know you're planning to play it, but I've recently been playing through Raincoat. Yes, another person playing through Raincoat. For the second time. It feels like Danganronpa but perfectly crossed with the aesthetic of Persona. It's an amazing game and I think you will absolutely love it. I cannot wait to play it, Jamie. I cannot wait to play it. I've been watching something called Fall of the House of Usher, which is a short TV series on Netflix by Mike Flanagan, the same person who made The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, and Midnight Mass, all amazing TV shows which have excellent writing. I recently rewatched Hill House with a friend. Fall of the House of Usher basically is a love letter to Edgar Allan Poe and includes many references to the series. I have to play Raincoat. And I think like I might get around to more of Mike Flanagan's shows. I literally just saw Hill House and that's it. That's what I saw, and I recently rewatched it with a friend as well because they never saw it, but that was really enjoyable to see it with them. I guess like what else I can say is that with Raincoat, I'm definitely going to get around to it. I promise I'm going to get around to it, guys. And I'm glad you guys are all having a good time and you guys have some good tastes and you're into some good TV shows and some good games. Thank you, Jamie, for your submission as well. Just to end this, if you want to know what I'm doing right now I'm watching Succession for the first time. I'm playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth in my free time. I'm also going to be playing Persona 3 Reload this Friday. And probably Grand Blue Fantasy Relink whenever I have the time. And of course on the channel, we're playing Undertale Yellow next. And we're also doing some more Danganronpa extra stuff that I've been wanting to do as well. Thank you guys for watching this community video. This is a video that happens once a month. You can submit your stuff. On Patreon, you have to be either a chunky baby gangster or a can never pay the baby gangster tier, the two highest tiers, which are like 10 and 15, to do the community video. But there's other stuff there, there's other perks as well. You get your name in the video. Also at the same time, you'll also get to have if you're a higher tier, the 15, you get your name read out as well. There's now a behind the scenes thing that was added to the 5 and up tiers, which basically you get to see more from once a week. I put some behind the scenes thing out. This week I put it up how I record videos in the schedule. And some people were actually very surprised. Not that you're going to be totally interested in that. But hey, thank you so much for doing this community video. Thank you to the people that submitted everything. It absolutely means the absolute world that I have people that even want to get involved in the community video in any way, shape, or form. I think you guys have some really, like I said, some really good taste. Can never pay the baby gangsta tier, which is TieFire02, Jamie Bull, Janet Banana, Smidge, Rachel S, Normal Cara, Felicitas Felix, George Candelaria, Eskun, Yuld, Radish, and Poki Girl. Thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you very soon.